These books took me from $37 to $1 million. These books I'm about to share with you today have gotten me from a negative bank account, like where my bank account was on life support, literally in the red. I have all the things, I have the screenshot, to $1 million. I believe that the thing that was holding me back was my money mindset. How could I believe that there was more money available when I didn't have any? And so I believed if I could shift the way I thought about money, then I could shift how much money was coming into my life. And remember, I've had success before. I'm an attorney at this time, making money, but I'm going through all these changes in my life. And I do believe that the money is there, but I just couldn't see it. So what did I have to believe in order for me to get to the place of crossing $1 million? And now I've made millions since. And it starts with the way you're thinking. I made it my job to study money every single day. This is something that I try to explain to my students and my clients coming into my space, is that if you have not gotten to a place where you feel neutral like I do about money, or where you know money's always there to support you, you need to invest at minimum 15 minutes or 30 minutes a day doing money mindset work. It's like going to the gym. You've got to exercise your muscles to get that result. The same thing is with your money mindset. So this is what I was doing. I'd get up every day, I would read these books, I'd work on my belief systems, and one by one, I would rewiring them and coming up with a new belief. And these books helped. I believe everybody should read these books in their lifetime. When you read something and it gives you a little shift or a new perspective, you've stepped into a different mentality when it comes to money. So for me, it took a lot of books. I was showing my team how many books I read, and they're like, wow. I read 2 to 3 books a week. Sometimes it's on audio. I still do to this day. And because I've read so many books, there's thousands of books in my house. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you a bonus book that's not included in anywhere, but I'll put it on my Amazon link, that has helped some of my clients. One of my clients, she went from $100,000 a month to $400,000 a month, but she had a massive shift reading this book. So stay tuned. There's going to be a part 2 to this video, so hang tight. I believe that I have to stay ahead of my clients so that I can lead them. And in order to do that, I've got to stay on my game. So I'm constantly always trying to improve myself. Plus, I love waking up a student and going to bed as a teacher. For me, knowledge is everything. So one of the things about money books it's amazing is that we get information. Many times people will read a lot of books, but they won't do something about it. So you have to take the action and start implementing what you've learned in order for you to now have an embodied new belief system with you. I took the information and I put it through my little computer, and on the other side came my consciousness and my understanding about it. And then I was able to apply it to the clients that I was working with, because they were just like me. When you just take the information and you regurgitate it out, which I see so many people doing right now, they're just repeating something, but they haven't made it their own. We integrate and implement things is because we take the teachings and then we understand them, and we create our own system, process it in a different way, and bring it out. Well, there you go. And this is why I love helping people process the information, because sometimes you'll get information and you won't understand exactly what you're thinking about. I've got friends that have a lot of money and they live in scarcity still. It's never about the money. I see people getting so bent out of shape about money. It's never about the money. It's never about the money. So when you learn to take this information that I'm going to share with you and you start doing something about it, guess what? Magic happens. I've taken the last 11 years of what I've done and I've written a book about it. And my book is called Unlocking the Quantum Woman. Bam, it's right here. When you go to read this book, it's going to help you move through a lot of the things that I believe blocks people when it comes to money and wealth and what you want to create, because this book does teach you how to create your reality. I wrote the book, and everybody who's read this book has said it's been like a life-changing book. So one of the books that I absolutely love is Think and Grow Rich. I think that this book it's one of the books that if you haven't read it yet, you should. And if you read it a long time ago, read it again. I read Think and Grow Rich back in 2013. That's when I first awakened, and I was like, ooh, what's this world about? And in that book, it was one of the things that for me personally made me realize that, wait, we had the ability to create with our minds in ways that we just didn't understand. And Wayne Dyer books came into my world, and just about consciousness and the healing and all that. But I was really specific about learning how to create my reality when it came to money, because I knew money was just an energetic paper. It was not this big thing that people made it to be, right? And then I read another book, which was, this book is amazing. This book is one of the books that I read it recently, and I was like, wow, I've done everything in that book. Everything in that book is exactly how I practice my life. I've outgrown this book now, but this book was great when I started. What I believe that is so important with reading these books is that they are not the be all end all, right? And some things you take what you need and then you go apply it. When I read a book, I write in the book. I don't know if it's from my years of law school. And so this is one of the things that I do to get the best out of a book. And I might not necessarily go back and like take notes on it. I might not go back and like read my notes, but I write in my books. When I'm done reading a book, I kiss it. But when I go through these books, I'm looking, if there's something that stands out, and this is again something from law school that I did, I'll highlight it, but then I'll go right at the bottom what my understanding or interpretation of it might be, right? I go to the bottom and I write the understanding. I believe that when we do that, that means we've taken that information and now we're clicking it, right? It's like, oh, this is my understanding of it. So now it becomes part of our database, something that we know now, not necessarily information we have, because we forget information. We forget people's phone numbers. We forget, what we ate. That's just information. But when we start taking what we've read and it now becomes part of our consciousness or our psyche, then now it's like, it goes in, it's a knowing. It's like, here's how we do something, right? So that's the way I like to read books. This book, Magic Money Mastery, is part of a trilogy. And so there's 3 books in it. Holly Alexander has a really tiny little books, so you can get through them. I bought the last one, the 3rd one first, and then I went back and read the other ones. They were really great books in the sense that they're really short, they give you a little shift, and they help you move into belief that, money is always there for you. I feel like it's the way we talk about money, it's the way we think about money and the energetics of money, how we see things, and believing that money is always there is really, really important. Another book that I am recommending is Easy Breezy Prosperity. And so I would spend days upon days, writing out mantras, seeing where my limited beliefs were around money. Where could I start believing that there was more prosperity? And I believe in this book, they teach you some like mantras you can actually chant. You can have a plan on what to do for, I think it's like over a month, like 28 days on what to do, how to shift yourself from from scarcity to abundance. And I think it was in this book, one of the exercises was to take, $1 bill or $2 bills and put a little sticky note and leave it on top of people's cars, giving them something extra that they can go, buy a coffee or something with it. We did it a couple times. Me and my kids would go out there, and I didn't have a lot of money at this time, but I was so believing in the belief that if I just released the scarcity around the money and just whatever little bit I had, I was able to give to others, that I just knew that everything would be okay. Like it would start circulating. Like I started tipping more. One of the mantras, it was like I got my mala beads and I would sit there and I would do the mantra because it's a saying. I can't remember what it is now. There was 3 of them. I literally sat there for days doing this. I would rub all my money oils on me. I was willing to do whatever it took to shift the way I thought about money because I believed that it was available for me. I know I sound a little crazy, right? Sometimes you gotta go there, Like if you want different results, you gotta stop doing what you're doing. So I was willing and ready to shift the way I was believing. And I went and did the exercise in these books. The other book that everybody should read if you haven't read it yet was The Science of Getting Rich. And it's just one of those classics of really understanding the basics of how people, saw money, viewed money, and what really the exchange was. And I remember reading, this is another bonus book because I literally read so many books, The Richest Man in Babylon. And one of the things inside that book was that, money was just created. I think about this every day, by the way, just this one little thing from that book. Money was just created as a bartering tool, right? Because people were exchanging their 4 chickens for a bale of hay or whatever it is, 1 cow for whatever it was. And they were exchanging things back then. And then money came along so that they didn't have to have those same types of bartering, but you can go purchase what you wanted. And so money is a very recent thing, but back in the day, things were done with an exchange that was very different. And so when I go back to that, I take away so much of the deep meaning that we've given to money that it's just here to help us help each other out. Like I'll give you this, but since I don't have the 4 eggs to give you, I have this money now to give you to get the 4 eggs, if that makes sense. So I literally broke it down and I studied the history of where money came from, where it started, and it really helped me quite a bit having a new understanding about money. The next book that I think is really important that everyone should read is Feeling is the Secret. Okay, what does that have to do with money? Well, I believe that if you're looking to attract a certain amount of money or you're looking to get in alignment with a certain amount of money, you have to do the feeling work because your subconscious is driven by your emotions. So if your emotions aren't aligned with the belief that money is there for you and really understanding that it's available, then you're going to keep pushing money away. This is why, as I was saying earlier, I have so many wealthy friends that have they go crazy over money. People don't do what they say. They're looking to charge back or they're looking to get their refunds. And you think that because they had an ample amount of money that they didn't have these beliefs that they would have taken away. But money doesn't change the way people think and feel, right? And sometimes it just only amplifies what's going on inside of you. So if you have this, let's say that you were the black sheep of the family, or you were somebody that was overlooked a lot, and you felt like you had to prove yourself a lot, you would think that when people didn't do what they said, you would sometimes be struggling with your money because you'd be constantly trying to, get your money's worth, and no one's going to take advantage of you. And I see these patterns in people. So I always know when people are getting hot-headed about money, it's never about money, right? So feeling is the secret. This is why I teach ATQ, which is our main program in our groups. Is called Accessing the Quantum Through Emotional Self-Mastery. I understood very early on in my process and in my awakening that my emotions were very much driving this ship on everything that I wanted to create. So I'm like, okay, I got to get my emotions there. So feeling is the secret. There's another video that I talk about where that's how I manifested my G-Wagon. I got into the feelings of it. And when you get into the feeling of the thing that you want to create, magic happens. So Feeling is the Secret is absolutely a book that you should all go read. It's a really short one. Neville Goddard has a tons of books, but this is the first one I would read. Okay, we talked about Think and Grow Rich. We talked about Happy Pocket Full of Money. Again, it's a great book. We talked about Magic Money Mastery. We talked about The Science of Getting Rich. And we talked about The Feeling is the Secret and Easy Breezy Prosperity. The bonus book I was going to tell you about was 10x is better than 2x. So when you can 10x your results, you will go beyond. This is when quantum leaps happen. And so many times people are like, why do you want to have so much success? It's the people who can only see things very linear. And so what I believe is that if we can do things 10 times faster, then we're going to get there so much quicker. Check out 10x is better than 2x. And that's just a bonus book for those of you that are high achievers. You'll love it. When you go and read those books, you're going to have questions. You're going to be like, wait, what does this mean? Ask them in the chat. We'd love to help you out here. I honestly believe like when you read my book, which is the bonus book, right? This book, you're going to see, wow, look it all came together. Look at this. It's all came together. So you could go buy all these books separately. The first thing I would do is go read my book, because we want to get into that feeling is that the secret, and the emotions will just drive you. And then start tapping into these other books. I hope you enjoyed this. I am here to help you, to give you actionable tips so that you can start expanding the way you think about money, so you can have more wealth come into your world, into your life, into your business. I have 5 other books that I believe were game changers for me as well when it came to my money mindset. And I want you to stay tuned. We've got part 2 coming up. And in this part 2, you're going to see how you've been thinking about money and how it's been affecting you, and where you can go to shift through that. Okay. All right. Thank you for staying tuned. And by the way, come join our Quantum Woman group. Go listen to our podcast called Unapologetically Rich. And we'd love to see you in our world. And go get my free stuff. I've got a free daily money moves down there. I've got a free wealth meditation. And we've got really small priced programs for you guys to start getting started right now. Get the benefit of all the work and research that I've done by just going to listen to the things that I've created. All right. Stay tuned. Bye for now.